Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of I Am Who I Am. This is a brand new series where we talk about conversations about the human identity and the power that we possess as humans. My name is Nelly Sosibo and I am the host of this series. Today I'm joined by the lovely Nandi Dlamini and she's the founder of I Am Who I Am. Nandi, lovely to see you and thank you for joining me today. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm feeling great, thank you.
Amazing.
And how are you?
I am great, thank you. I'm very excited. Before we start, Miss Nandi would love to give a few disclaimers and ground rules of how this podcast is going to work. So I'm just going to let her explain how it's going to roll out.
All right, thank you once again. The disclaimer.
Yes.
It's a very simple one. It's very simple rules that you can take with. Number one is listening. And number two is belief.
Believe.
Believe. Do not believe what I'm going to be saying to you. This is going to go through everything that I'll be talking about in this series. Do not believe, but rather experience it yourself. Make sure that you do understand and listen attentively. We've got three or four different types of listening skills. We've got an upside down pot. That means everything just goes through and nothing happens. It's like you didn't hear anything. Nothing was ever said. And then the second pot is a dirty pot. The dirty pot, you come in with all your beliefs that you already have, and nothing will get into your brain or into your mind when you listen like that. So empty everything, be open up so that you're able to listen. Number three, it is a leaking pot. The leaking pot, something gets in, but eventually it goes out without you having done anything about it. Then number four, it is a clean pot. You listen attentively with nothing. You are open to listen, to know, to broaden your knowledge, and to understand everything that comes into your way, and then be able to make a choice of whether this is for me or not. So it is all up to you. And then the third one is the states. It's the Bible. I will be talking about the Bible and quoting some scriptures from the Bible. However, I will not be, in some instances, I will not put the verse. I will just make references to the Bible. And then all the things that I'm talking about in the states. For me, the Bible is just about states of being. It is not a human being that was there. There is no mountain that is there. There is no story that is in that Bible. All the stories is me. So everything that I will be relating to from the Bible, you should know and understand that it is a state of being and all is in me and I experience it each and every moment of my life. So those are the three disclaimers that we have today.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think we are all set and ready to listen and to learn. Hope that everyone's got their notepads and their pens, and also you've decided which part you're going to be. So let's jump straight into it and let's talk about what this channel is about. What is I Am Who I Am, and why did you start this podcast?
Thank you. This podcast is about I am. It is a reminder of who I am. And that's just about it. I am who I am, and it is a reminder of who I am. So hence this channel.
Straight to the point. I am who I am. So I'm sure I'm curious to know, and others are curious to know as well, who are you? So we can know a bit about who is this I am who I am.
Right. For me to be able to talk about this in a very broad and understandable way, I will use the Bible, as I have said.
Yes.
On my disclaimer. The Bible talks about Moses. These words were uttered by Moses when he was asked by God to go and release the Israelites from Egypt. He said, I cannot do it. I have low speech. He counted all the excuses that he cannot do it. And that in me says Moses was in his conditions. He was stammering. Everything was dense. He was inside all these emotions that he was going through, which is me today.
Yeah.
And probably you today.
Yes.
You go through those emotions and you do not know what to do with them. You do not know what they are. And then you decide that, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And that is what Moses did. However, in the midst of that, with God talking to him, Moses remembered. The minute he remembered, that moment he remembered, he was able to get out and everything was dissolved. He said, I am who I am. He couldn't even put a word after I am because there is nothing that can explain I am. Hence he said, I am who I am. Because God, you cannot say anything.
Yeah, he's the great I am.
He's the great I am. He's the only I am.
Yes.
And that is you.
Yeah.
That is you. We will be talking about it later,
Yes.
but it is basically who you are.
Wow, such powerful words. I think a lot of us, when you describe "I am who I am," you would just think it's a short phrase, but it actually carries so much meaning to it. And when we talk about human beings and what our source is and what actually makes us as people, as an identity or as an individual, what would you say that is?
All right. It is still the same story of Moses. I will put that in that category. Moses was in his conditions.
Yeah.
And which is what me and you go through each and every moment of our lives. And when we do that, we have forgotten our true source.
Yes.
Because our true source is God himself.
Yeah.
God, according to the Bible, is love. God, he is omnipresent. That means he is everywhere, every time, in everything, and in everyone. So me and you sitting here now, I am looking at God. You are looking at God. And everything else is God. Everything that you see is God. So with that being said, we all know that there is nothing that exists here that is not God. And it is God all the time. Therefore, God is within. Hence, Moses, when he remembered who he was, everything, the stammering that he was in, the conditions, the limitations that he was in, and the limitation he was in was from his past. They had brought him to be where he was, but still, he was still living those limitations and the conditions that he was in from the past and refusing to go and move forward. So that instant, he was able to move forward and say, I am who I am.
Let's talk about the verse of Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, where it says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. What does that verse mean to you?
All right. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things are added unto you. Self-explanatory.
Yeah. Yes.
It says, you must seek.
Yeah.
And once you found, all things are going to be added unto you. That's what it says. So in this case, if you're seeking, you will find something. But if you do not know that you have to seek, then you say, I am in the kingdom of God. I am the kingdom of God. Then you are going to live a life that is unfulfilled because you have not seeked. Nothing is going to be added unto you. Moses seeked. He stammered and stammered, went around in circles, and then eventually said, I am who I am.
He is the kingdom.
There, everything happened. Because if you look at the word kingdom, it means a king, and dom is a place or area. Therefore, it means it's a place that is ruled by one person. So you are the ruler here. It explains that the seeking is over.
Yeah.
You've already found who you are. The kingdom of God is within.
Yes.
Therefore, take that and all your things are added unto you. Moses had it. When he dissolved all the conditions, he was able to do all the miracles, as we call them. But it was not miracles. It was just he went back to his normal state, and that is when everything was sorted. He was able to be the creator that he is meant to be. He was able to do everything that he's supposed to be doing as per his true being.
Yeah, that is so important. I think we sometimes forget that we are the temple of God. He is within us. So when we seek ourselves and we look within ourselves, we will find, that realization of what we needed to see, or maybe a new explanation or a new representation of things that are not making sense when we actually look within ourselves. And let's talk about the life of Jesus Christ and the life that he lived. It wasn't an easy life. It was quite difficult. And I just wanted to know what your take is on that and the symbol that he represents to us as human beings.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Sitting here, I wouldn't say that was a successful life. The life of Jesus Christ. He was born, and that story, let me not go to that story, but at the time that he was born, there was controversy there up until his last day. And when he was 12, he was with his parents and he got missing. They looked for him everywhere, they couldn't find him. And when they found him, the next day, he was sitting with old people. And when they asked him, his mother asked, "Where have you been?" He said to me, "I am about my father's business." And that...
What does that mean?
That does not tell me that Jesus was respectful. And me and you sitting here, that was not respect. But because as I have explained in my disclaimer, that these are states of our minds, of my mind, maybe, let me put it that way. This is a state that I go through every moment. Jesus Christ embodied God. He did not talk about God. He did not sing about God. He did not go to pray about God.
Yeah.
He was.
He was
He
God.
knew that I am. He seeked and he found, and he stayed there in that state, and he was. When he died, the reason we celebrate him today, when he died, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And where is he dying? He's dying in the mountain of Golgotha. And that mountain, if you look at the dictionary, it says Golgotha means the skull.
Okay.
So all that is states of me. It has got nothing to do with the mountain out there. During Easter, we'll talk about it when we get to Easter.
All right. Oh, okay.
So for now, we will leave it as is.
Yes.
And then when he died, he says to his mother, when his mother was standing with John, he says to John, "That is your mother, and
that is your son."
That is your son. And then you call that a successful life. That means that Jesus Christ did not have a mother, did not have a brother, everybody was, which explain omnipresent, which says it is everyone, in everything, all the time. He embodied the God-like life, and he was who I am.
Yes. And he was love also, like you said.
He was God.
And in loving, you did speak briefly about forgiveness and the power of forgiveness and why we should forgive one another. How do you think we can do that a little bit better in today's society as human beings, to show that unconditional love to one another and not to be so quick to be angry or irritated at one another, but instead to walk in love, to speak in love, and to just choose love every day?
All right. You are. I am who I am. Jesus Christ embodied love. He didn't have to show.
Yeah.
Father, forgive them.
Yeah.
They do not know what they do. He lived it. It was his nature. It's his state of being.
Yes.
Then go back to Moses, it is exactly the same thing. Because Moses remembered and he went back, and in his state of being, there was no kindness. There was no forgiveness because he embodied that he was. So in this case, Jesus Christ was God, love, peace, joy. He was everything. He didn't need to show it. He did it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to go anywhere to find it.
Yeah.
It is not out there. It is within yourself.
True.
So it is who you are. So if you understand it that way, you will not need to love anybody. You will not need to be kind to anybody because it is your state of being. It is who you are.
Yeah.
That's how Jesus Christ lived his life. It takes me to the prodigal son as well.
Okay.
The story of the prodigal son, because the prodigal son did exactly the same thing. He went home, out of home, took all his inheritance, he squandered it wherever he went, and then he remembered.
Yeah.
Once he remembered, he didn't go to church, he didn't go to meditate, he didn't go to pray, he didn't go to his father or priest, he went straight back home. So once you remember, you go back home, and home you are sorted. Celebrations is there waiting for
Home is
you.
where the heart
It's
is.
always waiting for you.
Yes.
You don't have to say anything. When you come there, when you get there, it's all yours.
Yeah.
So the joy, the peace, the happiness, the everything is within you. It's only you. You're still seeking. You are out there seeking. Whilst you are seeking, you are not there yet. That is why you will talk forgiveness. That is why you'll be talking, she was not kind to me. She was not angry she was angry at me. It's not. You have to go back and claim who you are, and then be who you are.
Yes, and I think a lot of us are still on that journey of walking towards being ourselves and reminding ourselves of who we are. And I think also, just to go back to the life of Moses and him remembering, in the Bible we see that he then, starts performing miracles and turning, I think, a rod into a snake, or don't know if it's the other way around.
Yes.
But yes,
He
so
used,
what did he do in that instance? Was it a mind thing, or... Yeah.
Yes.
If you can just explain.
Thank you. It was a mind thing. He used the stick that he had. Because when you in your true state of being, everything is there. Whatever that you use, whatever that you have is you. Remember, the stick is also God. Remember?
Yes.
The stick is also God.
Yes.
So in that case, whatever that you're going to be using, it's not a stick you're using, God, so what it's going to happen. So in this case, we say it's miracle.
Right.
It's not a miracle. It is the state that he went into, which was his creator state, and he was able to create from there. If you are in your conditions, you're also creating from your conditions, but you are creating hate.
True. Yeah.
You are also creating even there in your conditions. That is when you require forgiveness. It is an episode for another day to talk about that. But for now, we will leave it at that. It is a state of your being, and you must claim that it is who you are.
And from there's a lot of power in what you can do.
It's waiting for you. It's celebration.
Yes.
Once you get in, once you remember and you go back, then it's you. It's you.
Yes.
You don't have to be anything else. You are.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful. I think now we're going to play a quick game just to test Nandi's knowledge and see her, her knowledge of the Bible. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions and let's see how you do. So question number 1 is, who tried to kill Jesus after he was born?
King Herod.
Okay, yes.
King Herod. But even so, as we have spoken, it is a state in me that I go through every moment of my life. So it was Herod in this case of the Bible.
Yes.
It's King Herod.
Okay, tick. Second question. How many thieves were crucified with Jesus? You guys can answer as well.
2.
Tick. You're winning. We are winning. And the last question is, who is the disciple that baptized people in the Jordan River?
John the Baptist?
Yes. I think these questions are too easy. I'm not sure.
No, I normally say to people, I am not reading the Bible anymore.
Yeah.
I went past the stage. I don't carry it under my armpit as well, but I am.
Yes.
I
You
am the
embody
Bible.
it. Yes.
I embody the Bible. I am.
Yes. So before we go and say goodbye to everyone that's watching, I just have one more question, maybe a piece of advice from your side. I know a lot of times as people, we tend to look at our situations from outside in instead of looking at it from inside out. So how would you say, or maybe give us a few tips on how we as people can positively look at our situation so that it changes around us as well?
All right. Positive does not exist.
Okay. Why
Negative
so?
does not exist. It is all what you say is, that is. Which then says you are what you think about. So whatever that you think about, whatever that you say is whatever that is going to happen to you. You cannot eat poison and expect somebody else to die. So the poison that you think, the poison that you put into your mind, it is you who is going to feel that and enjoy it. So whatever that you do, wherever you do it, you never do it for the other person. I'm going to fix this one. I'm going to fix this one. She did this. She did not do this. No, you are only helping to fix yourself. Remember, nobody kills anybody. If you have to say you have killed somebody, you are just confirming that you have killed that particular thing that was within you, looking at it on you and you did not like. You saw it in this person. Because this person does not even know. It is your own perspective. It is your own judgments about the next person, and you're trying to remove that particular thing from that person, which you're never going to even have, even if this person is normal. So you are only killing yourself.
Yeah.
It's not the next person. However, it's just that the body of that person is gone, because we are not the body. We are God Himself that resides within the body, and that is all who you are. So in this case, there is nothing that is positive. There is nothing that is negative. It is what you say it is. And eventually, it is who you are.
Yes, amazing. That is how we wrap up today's episode of I Am Who I Am. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I cannot wait for episode 2. Are you, I'm sure you've got something else cooking for us in episode 2.
No, everything is always cooking. A friend of mine once said, we are always cooking.
Yes.
We are always chefs.
Yes.
And then whatever that you cook, you must eat.
Yes.
And if you realize that, no, it's not what I wanted to cook, you can throw away and start cooking another pot. And that is when you remember that, no, this is not me.
Yeah.
I am who I am.
Yes.
And thank you very much
Thank you
for being here.
Yes, it was so much fun. Thank you so much. And we can't wait to have you on the next episode. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. This was the very first episode, once again, of I Am Who I Am. Make sure to come back for episode 2. We've got a very, very, very insightful conversation that we've also got loaded for you guys. But just to take away from the conversation that we had, it is remembering to seek yourself, to remember who you are, and to know that you are loved because God is love and that we are all vessels of love. So we'll see you guys in episode 2.